No. Don't adjust your station. Don't adjust it. This is not a glitch. This is not a replay. This is actually us. What day is this? September 22nd. Oh my gosh. Where the hell have we been?
You know my motto. Never on schedule, but always on time.
I like that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Where do you get it from? I don't know.
It ain't mine, full disclosure.
I know, because I gave it to him. I gave it to him.
It resonated with my spirit.
Yeah.
No, it resonated with you, period. Jeff has never been the brother that's on time. Jeff's always been, yo, let's go play ball. And Jeff will be like, yeah, I'll be there. 2 hours later, I think that originated from me.
No, I'm fresh.
He's fresh. Everyone's dead, bro. Game over.
When you give people 2 hours head start, when you show up and your skills a little rusty, like Michael Jordan, right? Because everybody's in slow mo.
So that was the science behind it. I got it. That makes sense. That makes sense. But yeah, you definitely live by that model because it's like, damn, Jeff. It's like when it's weeks involved, you're like,
Today you're on time though. Today you were on.
Yo, he's on time today. I'll give him that. Yo, I'll give you that. You prompt.
It's progression.
You're very prompt when it comes to certain things you're very interested in. Sports.
Yeah, well, it's growth.
Not so much.
No, it's growth. My daughter, she has this thing. She'll be like, Soraya Monday doesn't really know how Soraya Friday will feel, and I thought it was such an interesting concept. And I try to think about it in that approach, like Jeff of 2015, I'm hoping I'm a better version of that Jeff at that time.
Wow.
Growth.
So it's progression.
Progress, yeah.
Yeah, it's progression.
Yeah, definitely.
Nah, that's awesome. I mean, he's no longer hours late. He's just like a couple minutes late.
Right,
I like it.
Right. Hey, listen.
It almost took a decade. It only took a decade.
Listen, you got to crawl before you walk.
Now you do.
If you ain't growing, then you know what? It's a problem.
Nah,
I love it.
You do. Kids teach you. That's what I've learned. You being a parent, kids teach you stuff. Really make you look inside yourself and self-evaluate.
They do.
And take away. You can't. What do they say? It's not what they say. Not what they say. What they do. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So basically, when you whatever you tell your kid, you got to make sure you're backing up because they are watching you. They're the hallway patrol. They're the tattletellers, so they'll tell you about yourself if you mess up.
No, you spot on. Like, quick sidebar. Like, this weekend, my little one, he had a party. And so we go to take him, and he's taking his cool, sweet time.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to show up fashionably late. Well, he got there fashionably late. Everybody's on this party bus waiting for him. So, my wife's in an uproar. Like, why does he do this? And I try to tell him, I'm like, we can't knock this child. We're late everywhere we go. Like,
what was that model he was just saying? Yo,
I'm saying you cannot erase 15 years of bad habit in one night. I was like, you know what? This is a lesson learned for everyone.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Yo, Sage is 15.
Sage is.
Sage
is going to be 15 in a week and a half.
Unreal.
So you have how many kids?
Two.
Unreal.
So my daughter's going to be 17. On Friday.
Okay.
And little man is going to be 15 the following Friday.
How about that?
That's like almost empty nest. Are you guys at that state where the kids are no longer home? They're hanging out. They're going over here.
Well, you know what? It might have been different had it not been for COVID.
Yeah.
And not only that, we're pretty close-knit as is. So we've always been kind of funny about who you're hanging out with, how long you're hanging out
Absolutely.
with them.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm trying to put them out now. I don't know about almost empty nest. I'm like, yo, when y'all want to get a job? I mean, anytime y'all ready to get this shit on the road, like, we got plans for your room.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
this happen, all right.
You guys
Airbnb.
are pretty consistent too. You guys are consistent in the birthdays. If you noticed,
yeah.
Right around each other from each other.
They plotted that, man. They planned
not
that
at all.
stuff.
We just tend to celebrate late in the year. December's a good month.
Plotted it. Plotted it. She was like, yo, she's probably one of those people like, yo, the ovary thing. She had the calendar and stuff.
So think about it, though.
Hold me upside down when we're done and let the gravity take over.
Outside of Christmas and New Year's, it's just a festive time. We have both our birthdays, and we're 2 days apart. So literally, December is a festive month.
Wow.
And when's your birthday?
The 14th of December, and she's the 16th.
Wow. Destiny.
Man.
Destiny. What about you, Ray?
I'm giving these guys too much information. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, I know. Your government name and everything. They already got your social security. They got everything. Driver's license. What about you, Ray? You ready to have the empty nest eventually?
I'm going to say right now, my kids Ray just got into high school.
Yeah.
Andrew just got into middle school. So I got a little bit of time. And I just started playing ball with Red LA Fitness.
Yeah, okay.
Taking your spot.
Taking my spot. I already told you, bro. Ain't nobody taking my spot. When Jordan hung up his shoes, who took his spot? They still trying to figure out who took his spot. Shit, Kobe didn't hit crashed in a helicopter, and they still trying to figure out who took his spot. Come on. All right, but as you were saying, go ahead.
But so I'm just
blasphemy.
I really am enjoying like this middle school, high school thing. So
yeah,
I'm not ready for the empty nest yet.
You're not ready for that?
No, I mean we just like we're at a stage right now where we're kind of bonding.
Okay.
As far as like, because they're boys.
So you guys are having that father and son type of thing because you guys are not too far as age range. They're understanding things they couldn't understand. They couldn't relate to before.
Yes, I would say I would agree with that. That we are kind of in that stage where we kind of have the same similar interests. We all can get along. They all can see my viewpoint. I can see theirs as well. We can communicate better.
Yeah.
So
it's a good space to be in.
It is. So I'm enjoying that.
It's absolutely wonderful. So in a house of girls, it's like I don't get that space, but Kate and the girls get it because they relate to certain things, and I don't hear certain things, but they have the boy talk. They have the nails and the hair and all that good stuff. But me and the dogs and cat, we chill.
So you like the odd man out?
The odd man, yeah.
Man, get your mani-pedi and hang out with the girls for a day.
Nah.
Not a common thing. No? All right.
Yo, I think I've aborted the metrosexual thing. I left that thing back when it was kind of newish.
When it was still fresh?
Yes, when it was fresh. Now it's just like, I don't know if you metro. I don't know. This is, it's like you skipping into the deep end.
Yeah.
I got you.
So you're like, I don't know. So no, I'm good. Like, I'm good. But other than that, no. But I mean, I'll go to a chiropractor any day. Hey, that sounds good to me. Or masseuse. That's cool.
That's just good physical upkeep.
Or facial. I'll do a facial, but not the hands.
You do a facial?
I get it.
That's metrosexual.
Slices on the eyes too.
That's metrosexual.
You know what? Let's
little foam.
Let's just change the topic. This sounds disgusting and
you
gross.
Ever had a facial before?
Yo. Okay.
I got one a couple years ago.
Yo, don't listen to you know what he's doing, right?
No. So
he's being you being nasty, bro. Raymond, nasty.
No, I'm not.
I wasn't even taking it there.
Thank you.
Yo, it's like Brokeback Mountain. I know what you're doing. You ain't fishing up in that creek. That Brokeback Mountain. You nasty. Raymond's nasty, guys.
No.
I will say this, some of these things, by normal men's perception, it feels very, girly, or if you want to term it metro, whatever. But the truth is, I got one as a gift one time. It was like a facial massage manicure. Right?
Okay. All right.
Won't lie, I went in feeling very uncomfortable. But when I tell you, this woman massaged my hands and gave me back 10 years of youth, I was like, I'm sold. All right, the facial thing, it didn't really do much for me, but she basically massaged my hands, my cuticles, did all of that. That was a little bit extra, but the hand massage alone, I was like, yo, I think I'm ready to marry this woman. She was like 65.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. She was good with her hands. That's good. That's good, bro. I mean, I give kudos to you too. You've had a pedi, right?
And to confirm, hand to hand massage, all right? Because
nah,
you're giving me the
I know, dude. Yo, Ray's nasty. This dude, I'm waiting for
that look was like you did not specify.
Dude, I'm waiting for Ray to be like, oh, you talking about happy ending? Right. Yo, nasty ass, Ray, you nasty.
I just never had a facial before, so I was just wondering about it, and that hey, you brought it up. And so I just had to
Bro, every time you say it, I don't know if it's your accent, but it sounds really dirty. It's not like it sounds very explicit. He's like, I never had a facial, but you guys had. Whoa, bro. I don't know.
No,
I've been in a spa. You talk about spas, right? That's all we talk about is spas here. Nasty.
It's weird, but it's cool. Again, I haven't had one done since, but it was an interesting experience. It was pretty good.
It's relaxing, man. Definitely, it'll relax you.
Would you go back for it? Would you go back for a facial?
Well, I mean, I haven't, and that was like 10 plus years ago. So it's not really my thing per se.
Reggie,
what? Yeah. My sister-in-law does it. We were going to her. She does facials. She does the microderm and stuff. These terms that Kate mentions to me. So yeah, I've Definitely, man. Like I said, it's relaxing and cleans out your pores, especially if you play ball and stuff like that. You sweat, you work out, man. You don't even realize when you shave and stuff, it helps exfoliate your skin because you get, us as black men, we get ingrown hair.
We do.
So it helps exfoliate and take that dead skin off so you're not growing in there. So, hey, there's benefits to it. Like I said, hey, just like we talk about mental health and everything, these are things that we need to start looking into as men of color. That we
upkeep.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we take care of the muscle side of it, but we don't take care of the soft side, like the mental and like I said, the face.
Just a cousin that's supposed to come on the show that didn't come on the show.
Sister-in-law.
Sister-in-law.
Yes, brother. She was one that's supposed to come on the show, didn't come on the show, and
maybe she will this year.
I don't know. We'll see, man. It's been a rough couple of months, man. Since yeah. So with her. Yeah, the girls told you, right?
They mentioned something about your family.
Yeah, about my brother-in-law passing. So he passed.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. He passed. Jeff knew he passed on the 3rd of August. So, yeah, man, life is,
not promised.
Nah, man, it's not promised. And the beautiful thing about him is he lived this fearless life. He tried anything and everything, and the crazy thing about him, man, you never heard me talk about him or Kate because he was just so humble and down to earth. The dude was like, superstar athlete in high school, but But when you play with him, you'll never act like that. He would always downplay it. His dad would always talk up about it, and he was a podiatrist, and he's a doctor, foot doctor. You talk to him every day, you see him, you talk to him, you'd be like, hey, you'd be like, oh, how's work or whatever, you're like, oh, it's just busy, whatever. You would never know he was a doctor. And that's the mentality he had. He would always talk to you down to earth. He would never put his title over anything. Mm-hmm. Didn't tell anyone to call him doctor. It was one of the great stories that they had at the eulogy at the service. They had the office managers there, and they were saying how they would introduce him. Oh, this is Dr. Hensel and whatever, right? And he turned around and said, "No, it's just Matt." So that was he would tell his patients that and just make it personable because he never stressed that. I mean, his parents would say this and this, but or his wife, but you would never know he was a doctor because he didn't act like that. He wasn't arrogant. He was down to earth. He would still look for the deals. You know what I mean? He looked for the deals. Streaming services. No, I'm kidding. Stuff like that. He was just very down to earth. So
sounds like a very stand up guy.
Yeah, very very stand up guy, and he was reserved and quiet. I mean, he let what was one of the best quotes? He didn't say anything. He only said something when it had to be said, or spoke when it So anything
when it was needed.
When it was needed. Yeah. So it was like anytime he spoke, it was.
And then when he said something, it had to be important.
Had to be important, or his input, or if it was a joke or something. They said he talked. If he talked to you, he liked you, and if he didn't talk, it's just because he didn't click with you, or he was very observant. So
were you close to him?
Man, we were close to a degree. Like it's funny because his personality, I didn't know. I was told Kate, like every time we go over there, I'm like trying to, have this bond and from his wife Alma to Kate, she was like, no, that's just how he was with everyone. He just is like that, not real super talkative, but he would. And then I didn't realize it. I was like, damn, only time you talk to me, I was like, you come to realizations after things happen, right? So I'm like, damn, I should have been like more so interested in talking to him. Hey, what's your most difficult procedure you had to do or whatever? And then I'm like, all he would talk to me about, and I didn't realize it was shows, movies. And he'd be like, oh, did you see this, Reg? Did you see this? Oh, the acting. And I didn't realize that was his way of relating to me. Yeah. It didn't click. Yeah. All we did was, because I was just like, oh, okay, yeah. I was like, yeah, and we'd talk about that, but I didn't realize that was him forming a connection.
It's crazy because you're trying to form a connection. He's trying to form a connection.
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I mean? So, it in hindsight, but, it's, it's rough. I mean,
how old was he?
Only 47, man.
Oh, my goodness.
Crazy.
Accomplished 47. And like I said, it's just unreal because it made me come to reality. Like, hey, man, whatever we've done on this earth, the only thing we're leaving behind is who you touched, and your titles and everything are gone with it. That's it.
Worthless.
It's worthless. Exactly. Your titles, none of that stuff means anything. It's relationships. It's the connections you built that actually last the longest. When we're gone, your mansion's not going to matter. It's going to be owned by someone else. Mm-hmm. Your cars aren't. I mean, they're all going to be. Take your clothing. Even your clothing is going to be gone because it's going to be donated or whatever. Someone else is going to wear your stuff. The only thing that you're going to have is the legacy that you leave behind with the relationships you create, you know?
Yeah.
So that just touched me, like, you know, it touched Kate because she's like, yo, you know, she wants to start taking more challenges and stuff like that and live like her brother lived. He took risk. He took, you know, either with vacations, he took, you know, he just, with things, with sports or whatever, he took risk. Like, he was only 5'8", and he was a quarterback. And, you know, they said he would, one of his, cousin Dave said, yo, I remember him being young in high school and little, this little guy. He was only like 140-something pounds playing varsity football.
Right.
And getting trucked by whatever big guy. And he would just get up fearlessly and it would dust him off. But it was just his he would just keep going no matter what. He had no fear in him. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it, they credit to him how he was raised. You know, like, you raised with that love. And I mean, us in the community, the black community, I've noticed things being in a biracial relationship, right? I've noticed seeing that, because when I met Katie, it was just so weird. Like, weird to me, like, you and Jeff and Jeff's can attest, we make jokes. The black community, you know that. We make jokes. Our way of giving love is the Showtime at the Apollo. Yeah. It's like we crack jokes. It's comedy jam.
It's within the culture.
Yeah, it's in our culture. Like, yo, we tear you down because we love you.
Sometimes it's icebreakers too. Yeah, you know?
It's icebreakers. Then it just turns to, yo, we picking ice. Yo, it's sculpture. It's just our way of giving love. Like, hey, it's like we hurt to love. I don't. It's just weird. So I would hear her and he'd be like, you know, oh, and he'd do it to the girls, and I just noticed he was, oh, you know, he just compliment her, you know, him, his son, and her, like, oh, you look beautiful. Oh, you did great today. Oh, I'm so proud of you. And she's 30-something or 20, 30s, you know, as we're getting older, years old, and I'm hearing this and it doesn't stop. And that's just a product of this environment you're raised with. So if you're getting love from the cradle to an adulthood, it doesn't go away. You're going to have less fear. Right. Because you're going to be like, yo, I've got the support system. I've told I can be anything. I'm hearing, you know, even my dad to this day is telling me these beautiful things about me and encouraging me. And I'm like, wow. You know, when we give tough love. So when now we were serious, we're like, so it's hard to take someone serious when they've been breaking you down with jokes, cheering you in the inside mentally. You're like, oh, you know, and they're like, no, I'm proud of you. I love you. And you're like, no, it's like a psych. Like, nah, man, you've always made fun of me. There's no way.
Right. You're not. You
serious. Don't love me. Nah.
Right.
I love you. I make fun of you because I love you, because I see the thing. But why don't you just tell me you love me? But, you know, so it's hard to take that. So that's one of the things we're missing a lot in this community.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that, but I don't know if I'm fully on board. And the reason I say that is because you live in a household that you've got two examples, right? They shared the same parents, right? Mm-hmm. You say that he was fearless, whereas, you know what, his sister's cautious. They were raised in the same household with the same approach. I think sometimes it just comes down to the personality type and how you're wired. I mean, you can have 8 kids, and every kid is going to be different, even though you give them the same amount of attention and love. But I do agree with you. I think it's common for us to lead with sarcasm and jokes, and it's viewed as a sign of love, but I think sometimes it can go too far.
Yeah.
And you know what? Or better yet, you know what? It doesn't have a good balance sometimes. It's like 80% jokes and sarcasm, which is cool, and 20% like just raw truth, you know, and I think the balance is off. And like you said, I can attest, we grew up in similar households where you lead with jokes, you lead with sarcasm, and you know, it's coming from a place of love, but sometimes it's okay to just be like, look, man, you know, you did a good job. I'm proud.
Exactly. Like that was awesome.
Like in our household, we didn't really get hugs, or there wasn't no affection, or my parents didn't say I love you, but I knew they loved me. But now with my kids, I'm over affectionate.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm hugging them. I'm loving them, on them, kissing them, on their foreheads, and saying, "Hey, man, I love you. You're an amazing kid. You make me proud to be your father because I didn't get that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do give them tough love, but I have that balance because I know you kind of need to have both.
Absolutely.
So, it does depend on the household as well.
Yeah.
Like what you said.
I think that tough love also stems from just the history of minorities in general, right? Like you go back in time, you needed to have tougher skin to deal with some of the things you had to deal with.
Yeah, I think you're going back to slavery and stuff, right?
I mean, we could go back 30 years. We could go back 20
years.
Yeah,
well, yeah, you're talking about civil rights, slavery, but everything's coming from slavery.
I remember, like in our day, if you go to like so and so house, your parents would give them permission to whoop you too. Like, if you're going over so and so house, hey, you can whoop Lil Raymond and Andre if you need to. Or I don't, do what you got to do. Okay, if they get out of line, they can you can smack that. You know what? That's kind of how it was.
I just read about that in textbooks, right? But yeah, but I'm glad I've got a person with a first point of view.
Our community, we do need to do a better job of leading.
Sarcasm.
Gotcha. Right,
gotcha.
There's that sarcasm.
Oh no, that means hey man, I'm just giving love, man. Love, bruh. What are you saying, Jeff? I'm sorry, man.
You're spot on. Though our community needs to do a better job leading with love or creating a better balance in creating that toughness all the while being able to show that tenderness and that affection.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, man. We definitely need to work on that.
Yeah.
Definitely need to work on that. We're actually going to take a break for the next segment, man. While Raymond recovers. And I'm going to pull up that textbook. I think I was in middle school when I saw it though.
It's got Raymond's face on the inside.
Little Ray Jr. Ray Jr. We'll be back.
So my father, there's no doubt in my mind that he loved me. This man, I've seen him work hours and do things to support our family that even to this day as a grown man with my own kids, I marvel at, right? But as far as being touchy-feely, it's not really him.
It wasn't my father either.
Exactly. And even my mother, who is more so on the tender side and more affectionate, and let me know, she'll give me them strong life lessons when I'm moving left. And at the same time, sing praises when I'm moving the right way. She wasn't necessarily like super touchy and feely either. I don't know. It might be an island thing. I'm not entirely sure, but
that could be true. Yeah,
it could. And again, like many things, you learn where you grow. So keeping in mind the situation our parents came up in, they probably received more of the same. So it always comes down to just like trying to break that cycle, recognizing where we could do better. And you're continually building in your kids to give them what we didn't have.
Especially like my parents, they grew up in a household. They both, my mom and my dad, they both had families of 10 kids.
Oh wow!
Whoa!
And in small houses of like maybe 2-3 bedrooms.
Oh wow!
So for them, it was definitely tough as far as not enough money, not enough love to go around for them. So and they felt like they turned out okay.
Yeah.
So as they got their families, they were like, well, my parents didn't give me this.
More the same.
More the same.
Wow.
You'll be okay.
Right. Look at me. It worked all right for me, right?
Well, yeah. Well, that address happened to be 2300 Jackson Street.
Dang.
Oh, no. Oh. I'm just saying. I don't know, bro. You a Jackson? Didn't tell nobody.
Joe, you gonna kill him, Joe?
Don't kill him, Joe. Yo, raise the kid that got kicked out. Get him, Joe.
Jackson got kicked out again. What was it?
Was it? Oh, Rini. No, you're talking about the girl? Rena? No. Rena? Rini?
Something like that. Yeah.
Ray knows. It was his sister.
You know what?
I can never tell.
No, it was Rihanna? No.
Joe listening to this conversation, so.
Right.
Ray, oh, man. Rini.
I think it's Rini.
Rini, yeah.
You're right.
I think it's Rini.
Speaking of things, y'all know that I might have talked about this later. I mean, before COVID, where I figured out that maybe possibly my father isn't my father.
No. You never said this.
No. Maybe you meant to have that conversation, but
maybe you had it here.
Maybe
right in your head, right?
Yeah,
maybe because you did not know, right?
That's a tough conversation.
Yeah, brother. Damn,
it's crazy, right?
No, that's
let's
crazy. Let's be.
So if you don't mind sharing, how did this
come
about? And I guess more importantly, like how are you
dealing with
that news?
Hey,
and wait, more importantly, are you strapped by any chance? Do you have any weapons on you? No. Okay, cool. I just start patting you down when you start walking in this place, bro.
So years ago, my mom and her sister had an argument.
Okay.
And I remember the conversation where like something like my mom was like, you don't know what you're talking about, or something like that. Mm-hmm. So I asked my mom, I said, what was that all about? Why were y'all arguing? And my mom just said, Brenda is claiming that your dad isn't your dad. And so I never felt that he wasn't my dad.
Yeah.
So I looked at it like, okay, whatever. And I went outside and went to go play. Fast forward, I got older. My dad died. Started doing Ancestry.com.
Okay.
And I'm going through his family tree. My mom's side was easier because we always hung around my mom's side.
Okay.
We went to all our family events on that side. I knew all my cousins, my uncles, all that. But his side, when I went to my grandmother's house, it was always weird. We would only go to her house. We weren't allowed to go outside. We only go to one room. We would always be cramped. It never felt like love. It felt cold enough. Like, I mean, like just a cold feeling, like it never felt like family. Okay. But, I just never took it like that. Just said, okay, this is my grandmother.
Yeah.
Like cold as in like unwelcomed kind of cold?
Unwelcome.
But when you say rooms, are you talking like flowers in the attic? Bro, Raymond got some crazy stories, bro.
Hold up.
Yo, this is crazy.
My mind went there because phrased it like we would just be.
So in this one room, we couldn't move.
Like,
boom.
So it was like
sensitive matter.
So we like walked into the living. You can ask me. I'm cool.
Nah,
we walked into the living room, right? And it was. Let's just say it was only 3 chairs. Right?
Yeah.
Well, it was like 7 of us in the room, so we really couldn't. And they didn't want us to go outside, so we kind of had to sit on the floor. All right, it was all just kind of weird, and like it wasn't kid friendly as well. So you couldn't really move around. And as a kid, as you're young, you don't like sitting there.
You ready to
go. Absolutely. But have you seen flowers in the attic?
I have seen that.
Okay.
So as I was doing his ancestry, I started calling his sisters and stuff.
Okay.
Find out my dad's last name is not even Knight. It's like either Love or Davis, and that he was adopted.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Really weird, right?
Just
stuff that I didn't know. My father wasn't a talker as well, so.
Then that is your dad. You don't need any DNA test, bro. That's your dad.
So for some reason, that conversation or that argument between my mom and her sister came up in my head.
Okay.
So I called.
Resonated with you.
It just came back because I remember also when I was playing sports in high school.
Yeah.
Even in church leagues, my father never came to none of my games. Even though I would ask him. Now he was the type of person where he loved sports, but he never went anywhere to watch sports.
Okay.
We took us to one game where we seen.
Was he like a homebody?
He was. Okay. He was. But for some reason, I always felt like with he and I just never felt like a bond with him. For some odd reason.
You didn't feel a bond?
I did not feel a bond with him.
Okay.
So I went to my aunt and asked her about, hey, do you remember the conversation you had with my mother when we were younger about how you said that Big Raymond, that's my father's name, we call him Big Raymond, that he wasn't my dad.
Yeah.
And she says, Lil Raymond, I didn't want to talk about this with you, but there was this guy that we would always see, or I would see him from time to time, and he would always ask about you. Not your brother, not your sister. He would always ask about you, about what you're doing, and he always knew little facts about you as far as like you were in the Navy, you married a white woman, you had biracial kids. Like he knew things about you and he kept tabs on you. But she said she always thought it was odd that he never asked about my brother. So it just kind of felt that way. And she said she would see him like every few years or so.
Okay.
So I told her, I said, hey, if you see him again, try to get his number for me so I can get in contact with him.
Yeah.
Okay. So COVID happened. my aunt wasn't. I was calling her like once a month, and then all of a sudden, she stopped answering my phone calls.
Oh no!
So she did call me, but she called me when my sister had died. Remember that? Remember my sister died?
Yeah.
She called me then.
Sorry, man.
It's okay. You know, things happen. But so I wanted to ask her about him then, but I didn't.
Yeah.
But one day out of the blue, she called me. She says, "Hey, little Raymond, I ran into so and so at the driver's license place." So she got his number.
Yeah.
And I called him.
Okay.
And we talked, and he was talking about his life and this and that, he kept tabs on me. I just
That's
said,
crazy. How do you even broach that? So
look, I said his name is Robert Malone. So I said, Mr. Malone, do you think that you are my father?
Yeah.
And he says, well, your mother never said that I was. And I said to him, I said this in my mind. I said, well, she never told you that I wasn't, and you kept tabs on me. But I just said, okay. I said, in that case, would you be open to having a DNA test, to see if you are my father? And he was like, of course. I want to give you what you're searching for. If you feel that you want to take a test or whatever, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
So I haven't gone back to Mobility to take that test with him, but I have communicated with him maybe once a month or so. We talk, or I'll send him pictures of my family or whatever, and he'll send pictures of himself or whatever. So,
do you think you look like him? I mean, show us a picture. Well, I'll tell you right now, bro. I got that DNA.
Possibly, it's possible.
But do you think you have a connection with him? I mean, do you feel a connection, or it just feels awkward?
Look, he's 74.
Okay.
So I mean, he's, I don't know, man. So then I asked him this question. I said, how many other kids do you have? Biological kids you have?
Yeah.
And he says, to be honest, he's not even sure.
Okay. So he's a spreader. This is crazy.
But listen, he
found a farmer.
He definitely has changed his life, though. I mean, he's
no longer a seed spreader. He's no longer a farmer. That's good to know.
Right?
That is crazy. Guys, I didn't know we were going to get into the real life of.
It's about progress, man. It's about growth. It's how we started the show. It's the version of you today better than the version of yesterday's you. And some things you can't make up for, but it doesn't mean you can't try.
Absolutely.
But the question you keep asking me, though,
botanist, botanist or a farmer. Huh?
The question you keep asking me, though, is do I believe? How will I respond, or how will I act if he is my father? And who
cares?
How do you know?
Well, it doesn't matter. Your father is the one that raised you.
Exactly. So the top one is my father that I knew.
Okay.
And the bottom is him, is the other guy.
Billy D. Williams is your real father? I'm sorry, guys. The guy looked like Billy D. Williams. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got. Does he have any newer pictures? Younger pictures of him? Because he's just showing you here. This is me at 70.
I know. That's
you know what I mean?
So
I don't know, Ray. That smile turn to the side. I don't know.
So listen, my good friend from back in Mobile, she broke it all down. She went from forehead to eyes to lips. By her analysis, he is my father.
I gotta tell you, that's where I'm leaning.
Really?
And this sounds crazy because it's not like we're taking a vote or anything. But when I take a look at the two pictures, I feel like I'm looking at your features now, and I'm looking at his. I feel like your features tend to favor
the bottom
his.
one. Yeah.
Well, we don't know what your mom looks like, so you could favor your mom too.
I do favor her though.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. You can favor her, and
I gotta tell you, man, I tip my hat to you because
I do too, man.
Your energy and calm regarding the whole thing. Again, there's nothing you can do, right? But
I
hope that I would have that same poise if I found myself in that situation, and I don't know. There's nothing you can do, right? But it's still that's crazy.
No, absolutely crazy, and I respect you, bro. But damn, bro, you got Billy D. Williams as your dad. That's amazing, bro.
If I was the old Ray,
you would what?
You guys wouldn't know nothing about this. You wouldn't know. I wouldn't even bring it up. Yeah. But
I give you that because you were, like I said, he's very quiet. So the fact that you were just open even about your daughter and stuff. I mean, the fact how you've been so open on this platform speaks volumes to who you're becoming, who you are, and I give you kudos for that.
Thank you.
You know,
that, but you never know how your story may have an impact on someone else that's going through something similar, right? Because sometimes when we're going through things, we feel like, man, I'm alone in this struggle.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, hearing somebody else going through the same thing doesn't necessarily help your situation, but there's strength in numbers, and
you feel
like
support.
You're not alone, right? There's support, you know.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, exactly. So anyone out there that has lived that lifestyle with flowers in the attic and may have a famous celebrity father or mother, Raymond's right here for you, man. Just give him a call, man. Leave a message. I'll put the email. You guys know the Bro-RantZ email at Gmail. Come on, man. You guys know where we're at. No, seriously. That's cool. I mean, you guys are cool with this segment. Moving on.
Yeah, let's do it.
Definitely.
Okay, we're going to be back and we're going to segue into the other segment. Man, I don't even know. You guys are just speaking on stuff. Nah, but Coke 45. I respect it. I respect it.
What was
man.
crazy though when I was on the phone with him though, he was giving me his life about how he found God in his life. I found how he found Jesus. And
okay,
I was like, in my head,
yeah,
it's just kind of crazy. In my head, I'm thinking like, I shouldn't even say this, but I'm thinking in my head, oh man, I wasn't calling to ask you about your life story. I just wanted to know of you and my father, but as I listened to his story, I mean, I kind of got where he said he knew his life was pretty wicked. Like he was doing, like he was living a really crazy and wild life with women and stuff, and just just meeting and doing his thing. So I kind of felt like he was trying to let me know, like, if he is my father and that he didn't father me in his life or didn't have me in his life, is because of his lifestyle.
Yeah,
which is good. And not only that, I mean, look how your upbringing was without him. So you were blessed to have a father that was there.
I know.
You know what I mean? Because where could you could have been a
somewhat. I could have been without a father and been
a seed plant, a seed spreader. You could have been a planter. You could have been a botanist or a farmer. And look what you turned out to, man. You're an upstanding guy. And not only that, you're taking care of kids that aren't even yours. I mean, and that shows me, like, hey, not even knowing, but look, that shows me that you are your father's kid, because look, you took the responsibility of children that weren't yours and adopted. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's amazing. That's you don't even know the legacy left behind by I say father, because to me that's your real father, the one that raised you and stood there test of time. The other guy, hey man, he was just ink in the portrait.
Appreciate that.
You know what I mean? He's just ink in the portrait.
The older we get is the more I realize that family isn't necessarily family, right? Just because we share blood doesn't make us family.
Yes.
Because ultimately there are people, I have friends that treat me better than some family.
Right.
You know
Preach.
Yes. And so, yes, that may be the situation that, you were born into, or, that may be a blood relative, or that may be, as my sister likes to say, a sperm donor, but your real family, those are the people that invest time and love into you. You know what I'm saying? So,
exactly.
And regardless of what comes out of that situation, like Red said, man, I'm proud of you because your poise, your emotional discipline, your willingness to just open up and share that. Like, that's very personal. And I mean, you're going about it like a champ, and you're definitely one to learn from, because that's not easy.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. As I think about it more, if we think more on a spiritual level, I started thinking, as you get older, you start thinking, okay, if we're spirits and we're souls, and we go back when we leave this world, especially when you're hit with loss and stuff like that, especially with these COVID times, right? Pandemic and whatnot. I think you're like, oh, why is this person so wicked and this person so good? Or you can have people in your family and you're like, why do they treat you that way? And you got to factor in, not every, we're all spirits, right? And if we have one father, like, okay, we're maybe born into this family as a spirit, right? But not necessarily we want to have a commitment to this family. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's why you connect more with someone that's outside of your family, because on that level, or, you know, spiritually.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, this one treats me better, you know, treats me like more family than my own family, because you can have a wicked ass mom. You can have a wicked father.
Right.
And you're like, I don't get this. You know, if we're speaking on the terms of spiritually, like, as far as good and evil, some spirits can be from God and some spirits or whatever can be from the devil, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe that's why there's people we get treated that way, because they're not of God or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Just things I'm thinking, like, why is this person so evil? I don't get it. And I started thinking maybe that's why, because we're just vessels, man. I mean, this is a vessel. We're a spirit. Mm-hmm. Some of us are good. Some of us are not.
I mean, I believe in your evil. I believe that. But I think sometimes people, the nature of people is sometimes just from their life experiences and what they've gone through and what they know. It's like anything, you know. If you pour, you know, kind of circling back to your example, if you pour, you know, love and, you know, nurture, you nurture something, you stand a good chance that, you know what, that individual, when they grow up, they're going to provide that in return. If you fill someone with anger and hate and you make them think less of themselves and their worth, there's a good chance that when the opportunity presents itself, they're going to invest that into someone else and the people around them, you know. So I do believe in pure evil, but I think a lot of it sometimes is just people's upbringings and what they've been through, and, you know what, they haven't had the good fortune of meeting someone or being in touch with the higher power to help get them back to where they need to be, you know.
Yeah,
I can agree to that. I mean, I know I don't want to say these persons.
If you tell me you know the devil, I'm going to end this podcast right now.
I have a friend of mine that his upbringing was kind of crazy, and so as he grew up, I mean, he was doing a lot of crazy stuff where he was like fighting people, always angry, and when he would meet somebody that was nice to him, he wouldn't trust him because he couldn't trust his own people. So even when you try to give this person a helping hand or you try to help him out, he would do something to mess it up because he didn't think it was going to last anyway. Okay. So from his upbringing, he was, you know, his parents treated him like he was not even their own kid. So with that, I mean, I think he's in jail now because of that. I mean, basically what you're saying is, I mean, your upbringing has a lot to do with your future.
I didn't even plan this, but I hope you guys get a lot of lessons, because this one's about to drop. This is you guys for Monday. I hope you enjoy this one, but you guys will get a special Friday, because we will be dropping the original content that we planned on dropping. So you guys have anything to say to these lovely people for the Monday show that they've been missing for about 3 months now?
I do. Welcome back to the Bro-RantZ podcast. Thank you for following us, and get ready for more.
Dude, 36% now are women that follow the show.
Is that right?
Absolutely. 36.
So we were off the scene for a little minute, but just think of us as, you know, fine wine, better in time.
Exactly. What's it? Not on time, but always, no, never late, but always on time.
I think what he's trying to say is never on schedule, but always on time.
Something like that.
Of course I'm saying, because I wrote it. I made that shit, bro. Unknown, bro. You're welcome, Jeff, because I think I was like 5 years old when I said it. I was like, teacher, I'm always late, but I'm always on time.